looks like the Red Sox are adding yet another lefty to this Red Sox roster. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. It looks like it's a double video kind of day. Well, triple if you include the live stream tonight at 7 p.m. on this channel. But either way, these are my favorite type of videos to make because it's not every day that you get to see a minor leaguer make their major league debut for the very first time. And that's exactly what we're talking about, because today the Red Sox have called up their number 15th ranked prospect in their system, Enmanuel Valdez. And this is a really interesting choice based on what this Red Sox roster currently looks like. So what we are going to do today is break down why Emmanuel Valdez was called up, what's the reason behind it, how long he's going to be called up, what kind of impact he could possibly make, and we're going to talk about obviously how this is going to affect the 2023 Boston Red Sox. But before we do, if you are looking for some new and exciting Red Sox apparel, look no further than Foco. Foco has some of the most unique and exciting Red Sox items anywhere. They are known for their bobbleheads, like the ones you see above me in this video, but they also make unique hats, sweatshirts, and my new favorite item, Red Sox slippers as well. And for viewers of this channel, you can now get 10% off by entering code REDSEATRADIO, all one word, at checkout. So click the link in the description below to get yourself some awesome Red Sox merch. Again, at 10% off with code REDSEATRADIO, all one word. Thank you to Foco for sponsoring this channel, and thank you for clicking on this video. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with how Emmanuel Valdez got the call and what his impact could look like on the Red Sox. The best news, in my opinion, throughout this video is the fact that Emmanuel Valdez being called up is not because of an injury, right? Most of the time when you're talking about prospects coming up, especially around this time of year, you're talking about someone being injured and someone from the minor leagues having to come up and cover that roster spot. Luckily for the Red Sox and for us, in this case, that is not what's happening. Yu Chang is going to be placed on paternity leave, so it leaves a roster space open for Emmanuel Valdez, which, by the way, congratulations to Yu Chang. But in terms of Emmanuel Valdez, this is his first shot at the major league level. Now, he has gotten off to a bit of a slow start so far for the Worcester Woo Sox through 11 games. Currently with the Woo Sox, he has just a 179 average with a 289 on base percentage and a 60 WRC plus, which is about 40% less productive than the average player at the AAA level currently in the minor leagues. Now, he does have 6 RBIs and 1 home run though through 48 plate appearances. One of the biggest red flags, in my opinion, so far with Emmanuel Valdez's start is the fact that so far this year he has a 33.3% strikeout rate, meaning that he is striking out a third of the time, a third of at-bats. This ties his career high for strikeout rates throughout his entire career. The last time this happened was in rookie ball with the Houston Astros, so it's been a little bit, but that strikeout rate is definitely concerning. Emmanuel Valdez does not have any major league experience, and the only time we've seen him at the major league level was in spring training, where he hit just 214 but did have an on-base percentage of 389 with a 429 slug. This is a perfect example as to why average sometimes does not tell the whole picture of how productive a player is being. During spring training, he also had 2 home runs with 4 RBIs. Now, one thing to note about Emmanuel Valdez's spring training is that he had 9 strikeouts and 8 walks, meaning that he was walking almost at the same rate he was striking out, leading to that higher on-base percentage. Again, this is just spring training, but it's the only major league experience kind of that we can equate to what Emmanuel Valdez could possibly look like at the major league level. Either way, even though he got off to a bit of a slow start so far with Worcester, we do know that that bat is there and that potential to be a power bat type player is there. Now, in terms of fielding, Emmanuel Valdez, again, in 11 games, has spent that time at second base, where he has just 1 error, which is a pretty good sign. He also has 27 assists and 8 putouts. But as we know, throughout his minor league career, Emmanuel Valdez's strong suit is not defense, right? He's sort of played all over the diamond, not because he's a great utility player, but because they are trying to find a spot where he can be average defensively and contribute on the field in some way. So he does have experience all over the diamond, but for the most part, he does play mostly second base. The unfortunate part for Valdez is that most likely this major league stint is not going to last very long. Like I mentioned, Yu Chang is being put on paternity leave, which in Major League Baseball means that you can miss no more than 3 games, which to me is a bit low, right? That probably should be a bit higher, but either way, Yu Chang will only be gone for 3 games, which most likely means that Valdez will only be up at the major league level for those 3 games. So what kind of impact can Emmanuel Valdez have in such a short time with the Boston Red Sox? Now, normally I wouldn't even bother making a video about this because he's only going to be up for 3 days, right? Corbin, how much impact could a guy have over 3 days? Well, you're probably right, but at the same time too, because of the fact that Yu Chang is gone and because of the fact that Christian Arroyo is still dealing with that hamstring cramp that he got a couple of days ago, there's a very, very good chance that Emmanuel Valdez is your starting second baseman for at least a couple of these 3 games. And that's going to be important for 2 reasons. The first is that Alex Cora is going to have to get really creative with this Red Sox lineup because currently, before you even add in Enmanuel Valdez, you're looking at a lot of left-handed hitters, right? If Jaron Duran continues to be sort of your everyday center fielder, that's all 3 of outfielders being left-handed, and that's 2 infielders being left-handed as well. Then you add in Emmanuel Valdez, and now you only have the opportunity to have a right-handed hitter in the shortstop position with Kike and at catcher with Connor Wong, right? And that could change depending on who's starting as well. So at some point during these 2 or 3 games, you could see a lineup where 7 out of the 9 people in this lineup are left-handed, right? The only 2 non-left-handed people are going to be Justin Turner and Kike Hernandez. The good news is for the Red Sox is that over the next couple of games, you are facing only right-handed starting pitchers, which is good, which means that you can get away with a very left-handed heavy lineup, but at the same time too, you don't have a ton of flexibility in terms of right-left matchups right now with Christian Arroyo down. You've got your other bench bat, Raimel Tapia, who is a lefty. Then you've got either Reese McGuire or Connor Wong, possibly a lefty on the bench, and Rob Refsnyder. So you don't have a ton of movement in terms of versatility with this lineup left to right. So that's going to be number 1 impact that Emmanuel Valdez is going to have, is that Alex Cora is going to have to get real creative with this lineup and hope that a lot of these lefties can hit lefties later in games. The second biggest impact for Emmanuel Valdez is his own opportunity. Now, obviously, he's not going to be able to play himself into an everyday role in just 2 or 3 games, but if he does do well during these 2 or 3 games, he's going to move himself up the wait list to be added to this Red Sox roster. If Emmanuel Valdez does well in these 3 games and later down the line, Christian Arroyo does go down for a significant amount of time, or Yu Chang does go down for a significant amount of time, you could see Emmanuel Valdez's name move towards the top of the list as to guys who are more than ready for Major League Baseball, which could be a huge opportunity for Emmanuel Valdez. Now, in my opinion, I do not think Emmanuel Valdez, like I said, can play himself into a role during these 3 games, and the biggest reason for that, in my opinion, is like I talked about with this lineup, right? If you put Emmanuel Valdez on the bench, you have 1, maybe 2 righties you can play around with. The idea with having Yu Chang is allowing you to have that versatility to put a righty in when you need him, especially later in games. So in my opinion, I don't think this is an opportunity for Emmanuel Valdez to go and become an everyday player, but it's a great opportunity for Emmanuel Valdez to make a really sparkling first impression. So at the end of the day, is this going to have a huge impact on the 2023 Red Sox? Maybe not right now, but as we get further down the line, we could see how the impact of having him up early this year could affect the later half of the 2023 season. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of Emmanuel Valdez being called up? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you excited? Are you not excited? And how do you think he impacts this 2023 team? Let me know all your thoughts on Emmanuel Valdez being called up to the major leagues down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you tonight for the live stream and in the red seats.